This is live, so we're gonna start cutting it. I'm resting it right now. We'll start cutting it in a few minutes. Tell me what you think.
The United Kingdom, along with Ireland, Denmark and Norway, signed the Treaty of Accession to the European Economic Community. With the signing, the 6 common market countries became the 10th, with a market bigger than the United States. Formal entry was to begin on the 1st of January of the following year. Northern Ireland was about to embark on a year of appalling violence. In Londonderry, what came to be known as Derry's Bloody Sunday started with a mass protest under the banner of civil
Well,
rights.
hello.
The march had been banned.
Okay, so it's been resting for a few minutes, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take my roast pork out of the pan here.
And the security forces responded as missiles rained down. Water cannons sprayed colored dye on the crowd and rubber bullets were fired. The injured cried out for help, but the battle continued, with youths hurling sticks and any other materials they could lay hands on at the troops. The army claimed their mission had been to arrest some 100 troublemakers. Then the British paratroopers opened fire, and 13 civilians, later found to be unarmed, were killed. It was an incident that led to Catholic alienation. When the official report was published months later, the British government said it vindicated the army's action. There was fierce controversy over where the first shots had come from.
Ooh, it's smelling good, y'all.
Miners were on strike. Power cuts were introduced under a state of emergency.
Look at that. Pretty tender and juicy. You like the words juicy?
The signs in Piccadilly were not illuminated tonight, and they certainly won't be tomorrow night, for from this it becomes an offence to use electricity for advertising or floodlighting. The penalty for such an offence, £100 fine or 3 months in jail, or both. The emergency regulations will also relieve the electricity authorities of their
Some of the
responsibility to maintain
juice
uninterrupted
out.
supplies. So they'll be able to economise where they have to, and to keep the flour flowing where it's needed.
So I got potatoes, peppers, tomatoes, garlic. I do have a poblano pepper in there. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the juice there. But I have a good amount of juice. I'm gonna make that into my gravy.
Although the two were relatively small, the photos it revealed were probably more opulent than any other infant from Communist dynasty. In South Vietnam, communist troops from the north launched their biggest offensive for 4 years. They had early successes and captured large tracts of territory.
All right.
12 months earlier, President
So,
Nixon had vowed to end
let's see
American
here.
involvement. So
What
South
we'll do
Vietnamese troops were taking the brunt of the attack.
is we will bring this over here.
Ground war had cost the Americans over 45,000 dead. But they continued with the
Maybe.
and stepped up their attacks on the north.
Let's see here.
This, they said, was in response to the North's invasion of the South.
We'll do it this way.
The American presidential campaign was in full swing, and George Wallace, the segregationist governor of Alabama, was trying for the Democratic nomination.
Okay.
He was campaigning in Maryland when a man in the crowd...
So we got the vegetables here. We got the pork resting.
The governor's wife threw herself from his body in the midst of the pandemonium.
Okay, so we will turn this on here. I'm gonna take a little taste.
At hospital, he was on the critical list and found...
Okay, so it needs a little bit of seasoning. And, I mean, you see the dark color. It's pretty dark. But I'm going to add a little bouillon cube here. Little beef bouillon cube. I'm going to add that to it just to get a deeper gravy.
Among the victims were pilgrims from Puerto Rico, and survivors were visited by the Patriarch of Jerusalem. You can see why they call it spaghetti. The engineers point out that unlike a plate of spaghetti, it stands up and it's highly planned. It's the most complicated intersection in Europe. 14 separate roads sweep past each other at 5 different levels. It covers some 30 acres and it costs £8 million.
I also have this product here, which is like a better than bouillon, but it's Italian herbs. So I'm going to add about this much into there. That's going to add a little bit of flavor. Gonna mix it in here. I might add a little more. If I add too much and it's a little salty, I can always add water to it.
Minutes after taking off from Heathrow, a BEA Trident airliner came down near Staines. All 118 people on board died. It was at the time the worst disaster experienced by British Airlines. Rescue workers were so quickly on the scene that they were in danger from spilled fuel catching fire. Local people had gone too to see if they could help. Belfast had its worst day of violence in the IRA terror campaign. The main bus station was only one of many targets that day, which came to be known as Bloody Friday. 9 people were killed, 150 were injured. Altogether, 22 bombs went off.
Okay.
The day's event put an enormous strain on the city's firefighting and rescue services. No warnings were given.
Ooh, that tastes good. All right. Kind of. So I'm going to add a little bit of a slurry, which is cornstarch and water.
When she went to visit the troops in Vietnam, it wasn't the Americans she went to see, it was the North Vietnamese. She proved to be a hit with the troops, though remarks denouncing American policy didn't go down too well
See how it's boiling here? I got my little slurry. Gonna add a little bit of slurry. And the reason why we thicken a liquid like this is it's going to get more flavor on your tongue. So they have a French technique called nappe, which is how thick it has to coat the back of a spoon. So if it coats, the theory is if it coats the back of a spoon, it'll coat your tongue, so you get more flavor out of it. And, just kind of when it comes to a boil, it's as thick as it's going to get. It's pretty close. Yeah, just add a little more. I don't mind a little thickness. Alright. You see how? Oh yeah. I'm just cooking for myself, so it's got a little spice. Good to go. Done. That's how simple it is to make a gravy. I just made a gravy on this live in less than 14 minutes. I sliced my roast, I made my gravy, and I rested it. Alright. So to follow through, okay, there's my pork that I just sliced. I'm gonna slice a little bit more.
An opulent hotel and apartment block in the capital of the United States, which was to become a byword for political dirty tricks, Watergate.
Let me tell you, smells freaking amazing. But you wish you were here, not watching it on TV. Okay, so you always gotta taste it. Okay. So I'm gonna plate it up. So it's got to look nice, right? Like, how am I going to make this look nice, right? Plating is one of the easiest things on the planet, right? Okay. Check this out. Okay, so we got some taters and some roasted tomatoes and peppers, like that. Okay. Very hearty little meal. And I got tons for snacks. Probably bring some to work tomorrow.
Richard Nixon was to win a landslide victory, though his 4 more years were rather fewer in the end. He was once described as a chronic campaigner. That was the old Nixon. This year he took the state's control. Too busy with affairs to campaign until the final month. Then only on meticulously managed excursions like this one in the friendly Republican suburbs of New York State. Most of these outings have ended in a single rally, with a mission like the year, caution against hecklers. Of course, some hecklers do get the very river and the police.
How does that look? How does that look, y'all? Look at that. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm logging off to eat. Hope y'all have a good night. You should follow me. I'll be going live. I'm going to try and go live fairly frequently. If you have any cooking questions, you can always message me or put it on the thing. Anyhow, hope all is well.